A crucial personality in Pogo operations named by Alice Go during the Senate's executive session. Senators confirmed the dismissed Bamban mayor did reveal new information during the private meeting Tuesday. But Senator Risa Ontiveros says she is still not satisfied with the closed session, which will be continued next week. With Go's revelation, Senator J.V. Ejercito believes the former official can qualify as a state witness if she tells all.
Kung ba ituturo niya kung sino ang most guilty, kung sino ang mastermind, kung sino talagang pinakapinuno, then she can be, nasa appreciation yun.
The Senate is also set to hold another probe on illegal pogos, where former police officials, including retired Chief Benjamin Acorda, will be invited to air their side. Senator Ronald De La Rosa, a former police chief himself, meanwhile comes to the defense of Acorda, who was photographed with personalities linked to pogos.
Anybody can have pictures with us, lalong-lalo na kung ikaw ay Chief PNP.
Over in the upper chamber, Francis Escudero remains as Senate President as Congress goes on break. This despite swirling rumors of an ouster plot against him, which was supposed to be carried out this week. Senate President pro tempore Jinggoy Estrada earlier denied allegations he was behind moves to unseat Escudero. Senators Loren Legarda and Cynthia Villar also disputed the rumors.
In my 9 years in the House and 14 years in the Senate, all of these allegations about a coup are mere rumors until they become reality. So I throw the question back at you. If it is not yet reality at this point in time, then it is a rumor. And I don't usually comment on rumors. The leadership of the Senate, meaning me, the pro tem, the majority leader, the chairman of the committees, respective chairpersons of the committees, serve at the pleasure of the majority. It is a known fact and understood fact by all. So it's not a question of securing it, it's a question of simply doing your job on a daily basis until and while you enjoy the confidence of the majority.
Senators Alan Peter Cayetano and Juan Miguel Zubiri nearly came to blows during an adjourned session Tuesday. This after Cayetano sponsored a resolution that sought to prevent the disenfranchisement of voters in 10 Embu villages that were transferred from Makati to Taguig. Zubiri questioned the resolution, saying it was not part of the chamber's plenary agenda that day. But Cayetano insisted the bad weather could derail their next session. The two said they have made up, saying the argument was nothing personal. Taguig City is known as the bailiwick of the Cayetano family. Zubiri, meanwhile, is an ally of Makati figure Senator Nancy Binay in the Senate.
I apologize if I raised my voice. Nabigla ako dahil nasa taas nga ako at biglang may concurrent resolution about these barangays. Wala naman sa agenda today, Mr. President. So, my appeal to the good gentleman is give us time to at least explain to us what it is all about.
Nakita nyo naman yung mga ulan ngayon, kung bumagyo bukas at mag-adjourn tayo. So, walang taga-Embo na pwedeng tumakbong congressman, walang pwedeng bumoto. If he apologizes for raising his voice, me too.
Senate President Francis Escudero, meanwhile, sees no reason to impose disciplinary sanctions on his colleagues.
Tao lamang naman na minsan ay lumalabas yung bugso ng damdamin kaugnay sa kanilang mga paniniwala at advokasya.
Explosive bribery allegations by a former Philippine education official. Gloria Mercado told a House panel cash given to her by the office of then Education Chief Sara Duterte may have been meant to influence the bidding for supply contracts. Vivian Gulia has tonight's top story.
Gloria Mercado turned over to a House panel on Wednesday 9 envelopes that allegedly used to contain 50,000 pesos each. The envelope was labeled HOPE, or Head of Procuring Entity. Mercado said she was handed one of these envelopes every month since assuming her post as HOPE for DepEd in February 2023. And she was told that it came from then Education Secretary, Vice President Sara Duterte.
These envelopes were handed to me mostly by Assistant Secretary Sunshine Fajardo, which she says came directly from Vice President Duterte.
A congressman asked, what is the money for?
Or should I say, it is a means to influence your decision, being the hope?
It could be.
The former DepEd official, who had been in public service for 40 years, said she did not immediately open the envelopes and hoped to return it during the exit call she requested before going into voluntary retirement. But the exit call did not happen. She was advised to donate it, which was the first time the envelopes were opened.
And it was 50,000 per envelope.
So 50,000 times 9.
It's 450 po.
450.
They issued me a receipt for that 450.
Mercado said she voluntarily retired after she was asked to resign by Duterte's chief of staff. This came days after Mercado asserted in October 2023 that procurement for the DepEd computerization program must be implemented and conducted in strict adherence with the rules.
As the likelihood of a bidding failure for DepEd computerization have become apparent, I was approached by Attorney Monsayak, and he suggested mag-usap-usap na lang para hindi masayang yung pera ng 2023. I firmly asserted that the procurement must be implemented and conducted in strict adherence with the rules. Sometimes in the 3rd or 4th week of October, I was summoned by Zulaika Lopez, the Chief of Staff of the Vice President. I was informed that I should tender my resignation effective that day. I refused to resign and I insisted on departing from service through voluntary retirement.
Wala akong dahilan o interes o inklinasyon na magbigay ng isang illegal na order sa isang publikong lugar na may mga tao na hindi ko man lang kilala.
Duterte did not attend Wednesday's hearing of the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. But in a press conference, the Vice President challenged Mercado to present documents to prove her claims against her and her staff. Duterte said Mercado was let go after she sent an unauthorized solicitation letter to a company in 2023 to ask for 16 million pesos on behalf of the DepEd.
Gloria Mercado is a disgruntled former employee of the Department of Education. She was let go because of loss of trust and confidence sa Office of the Secretary. And then she said na, pwede bang mag-retirement na lang ako instead na paalisin ninyo ako. Kasi ang tagal ko na, matanda na ako. And then sinabihan siya, okay.
Duterte added Mercado appointed a teaching personnel from Central Visayas to a non-teaching post in the DepEd headquarters, a move which was considered irregular and received complaints from teaching personnel.
Ginawa niyang executive assistant niya. Ang apelido nun, Villar. Meron niyang paper trail.
The Vice President added Mercado's revelations against the DepEd in the congressional inquiry did not come as a surprise, as she is known to badmouth her colleagues without sufficient basis. Duterte earlier wrote to the House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability, saying that she would not attend their congressional inquiry as she finds the probe unnecessary. But committee chairperson Joel Chua noted an alleged disturbing pattern in the disbursement of OVP's confidential funds under Duterte in 2022 and 2023, adding that the amount of potentially misused funds surpasses the threshold for plunder.
When one goes deeper and looks at the liquidation reports for these disbursements, a disturbing pattern and similarity emerges with perfectly round numbers. Ni isang sentimo po ay walang butal, being attributed to expenses such as medicine and food. Paulit-ulit po at parang kinapi-paste ang liquidation ng confidential funds ng OVP.
Meanwhile, the Vice President rejected calls for her to step down. Several lawmakers earlier said Duterte should just resign if she isn't interested in fulfilling her job as Vice President after the second-in-command snubbed several congressional proceedings, including the plenary deliberation of her office's budget for 2025.
Kasi ako sasagot sa Young Guns dahil kailangan ko sumagot sa 32 million na bumoto sa akin, hindi sa isa or dalawa na tao.
Duterte alleged that calls for her resignation is a second track created by her political opponents after failing to find a ground for impeachment against her.
Sa tingin ko sa mga nangyayari, wala silang kaso for impeachment. Kaya sila nandyan. Kaya sila sige hanap ng kung anong gagamitin nila. Gumawa sila ng isa pang track na resignation.
And while Duterte has snubbed House deliberations, she guaranteed that she will attend the OVP's budget deliberations in the Senate plenary. Vivian Gulia, ABS-CBN News.
The Philippine House of Representatives gives its final approval to the government's proposed 2025 budget, 6.35 trillion pesos. Only 3 lawmakers voted against the budget's passage. Lawmakers adopted a recommendation to slash the budget of the Vice President's office to 733 million pesos from over 2.2 billion. President Marcos Jr. earlier certified the budget bill as urgent. This allowed lawmakers to approve the bill on both second and third reading on the same day. The proposed budget is now set to be transmitted to the Senate. Senate President Francis Escudero earlier said the upper chamber aims to have the 2025 budget bill signed into law before year-end. The lawyers of religious leader Apollo Quiboloy seeking home or hospital arrest for the detained preacher. They are planning to file a supplemental motion to show the urgent need for Quiboloy to serve time outside of prison. But Kingdom of Jesus Christ lawyer attorney Israelito Torreon declined to provide details on Quiboloy's medical condition. Quiboloy is currently detained at the Philippine National Police Custodial Facility in Camp Crame. He entered a not guilty plea in his non-bailable qualified human trafficking case and child abuse charges. Now let's get an update on the weather from Pagasa forecaster Chanel Dominguez. Good morning, Chanel.
Good morning, Bettina. Good morning to all. So currently we are monitoring a low pressure area outside our Philippine area of responsibility, and it has a high chance to be a tropical depression within the next 24 hours. And it is unlikely to enter our Philippine area of responsibility. However, Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ, is affecting Palawan, Visayas, and Mindanao. Due to this, expect a cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorm over Palawan. For Metro Manila and the rest of our country, expect a warm and humid during the afternoon and a high chance of rainfall during the afternoon and the evening due to the localized thunderstorm. That's the latest here in Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Chanel Dominguez, and good morning.
Thank you very much for that update, Chanel.